Hello, welcome to Zero to Hero in the Cloud. This is a complete beginner's course. However, if you're highly technical, we also have something here for you too, a special trick at the end. We're going to be doing a lab later on. This is going to be a couple-part course. We'll start off with an embarrassing story. I actually gave this course on Sunday, and I thought it was recording, and guess what? It wasn't. So I'm re-recording now. I'm proud to say that I think that all of the people there actually knew what I was talking about by the end, and I think that they saw the purpose in it too, and I think that they actually were really convinced that this is an awesome thing. So if you stick around, I think you'll feel the same way. I hope so. And let's get started. What is the cloud and who cares? So I'm going to just jump right into an honest view, in my opinion, about what I think the cloud is. I think it's just a silly marketing term that means that it's somebody else's server and somebody else's computer. Clouds, in air quotes over here, are regional, meaning that it really is just somebody's computer, somebody's big computer. Google has computers, Amazon has computers, everybody just has computers under the hood. Okay, so that's great and all, but why should I care? It shouldn't make any difference to me where my servers are or where computers live, what's hosting a website. It doesn't make a difference, right? Surprise! The cloud can help you do cool things! Yeah! What we're going to be studying in this course is certain tools by AWS. AWS is Amazon's web services. It is what hosts Amazon.com. It has for about 10 years. AWS actually has about 1 million different users of all different backgrounds. There's hundreds of tools that can enable you to do a ton of different stuff. And the thing is, you can actually even get started even with no experience with any technology other than maybe, just very basic computers. So how would I be able to jump into this? So I actually started getting into this about 5 years ago, and I found it overwhelming personally. And you're going to hear about me in a second, but I just was overwhelmed with the amount of different options that they had in AWS, and it's a fantastic tool. It's a fantastic set of tools that it would take you years to build any of them. And it makes life a lot easier in a lot of ways, and of course we'll get to see that. But a little bit about this course is that I'm going to be going from the easiest to the hardest, in my opinion. We don't really get to the very hardest stuff, to the very hardest topic in my opinion, which is VPCs. That's not coming anytime soon, but I'm going to be doing the easiest thing today, which is Amazon S3, and I'll get to that later. But here's the thing about this. I'm going to rip out all of the code background. I'm going to sugarcoat these labs. I'm going to cut corners, so these labs should be a piece of cake. And I really, really want anyone to be able to jump in. And I believe this last Sunday I was successful. And I think that everybody was able to understand this lab, and I'm trying my best just not to intimidate anybody. So who am I? It's a great question. So I am a software developer, and now I'm a full-time DevOps engineer. I was a huge DevOps skeptic. The DevOps is what they call all these tools. They are developer operations, if you will. I started off as a programmer, and I was very skeptical of DevOps. I thought, I'm the programmer, why should I have to think about what server's doing, get somebody else for that. Why should I have to care about where my code lives? And maybe you're not a programmer, maybe you're some tech support expert or somebody just trying to get into technology in order to get a job in the industry. I have more on the actual career stuff later, but maybe you're just somebody in the industry who wants to get ahead, and I feel for you. I think that personally, I think that AWS is the future of cloud technologies. They're by far and away the best, in my humble opinion, versus Microsoft and Google both have competing products. Microsoft's is called Microsoft Azure, and Google is called Google Cloud, and they both are just not at the point that AWS is at, in my opinion. And I think that a lot of the industry thinks that as well. I think that as far as looking for a job, AWS is much, much, much more popular, and companies are moving to AWS. So why would I care personally? Because as a programmer, why should I care where my code lives, whatever? So in short, I've totally cashed in. This stuff I think is really fun. There's really cool architecture design patterns that I think make it a lot easier and a lot cheaper to do some programming things. But programming things aside, I think that you can have a lot of fun with a lot of these tools, and like I said earlier, you're standing on the shoulders of giants. Okay, so I don't want to be a DevOps person, you're thinking. I don't want to, whatever mountain I have to climb, I don't really want to get there. I don't want to, have to spend years at some sort of DevOps monastery in order to learn all this stuff. So good news, there are hundreds of tools for nearly anyone in any part of the tech industry, and you can learn them one at a time. In our case, they're going to be no code. If later on it's going to be what I guess they call low code or yes code, whatever, trying to make sure you guys don't feel overwhelmed. I'm going to be trying to explain every service that I can, but we're going to start with the highlights. So what can I learn from you? Who do you think you are, Michael Davidson? So you're actually going to be doing all this yourself. You're going to be doing labs. You're going to actually gain that experience. Today's lab, I think that you'll gain something out of, and all of these resources live on AWS, and the little thing about AWS is that it costs money, except on the free tier. When you create a new account, you're actually on the free tier. In all likelihood, even if you completely forget to delete the resources and everything at the end of this course, or maybe my later courses, probably max out of pocket's going to be like $1 or $2. It's really, really, really cheap. At least some of this stuff is. And we're going to talk about pricing also later on, but for now, we're just going to cut the corners and dive right in. So here's my full current curriculum of what I want out of this course. I'm planning on giving the second course on Sunday. We're today going to be talking about something called Amazon S3. S3 is Amazon's storage. I don't want to overwhelm you with this slide, so I'm only going to spend a moment on it. But we're also going to be talking about serverless architecture, which also sounds very scary, not as intimidating as it sounds. We'll talk about that, and EC2 instances. What are EC2 instances? So, if you turn on a computer, it's essentially the same thing, but with somebody else's computer. It's just, as plain as we can get. That is how servers are these days. You just, hit a button and boom, a new EC2 instance is provisioned. And it's like EC2 might sound scary, but in the menu, it's actually as simple as just going in and clicking a couple buttons. There's nothing to be too scared about over there. They made it a lot better than what it used to be, in my opinion. So let's talk about career for a second. So can this help me get a job? Can an AWS cert or some sort of training, is this path really going to help me get into the tech industry and whatever my tech industry path is? Whether it's database, whether it's IT support, whether it's networking, whether it's programming, whether it's front-end design. I personally have gained from the one cert that I got I've been reached out to by recruiters just because of that cert, and they'll say, hey, I noticed you have this AWS cert. I have 2 other certs, and I had them on my resume for about 2 years, Microsoft C# and Microsoft's HTML, and honestly, I never got any questions about them at all. And as soon as I got this AWS cert, people were starting to buzz. And this has personally helped me get a job. It has been the icing on the cake. And I think now, for me, it personally is the cake, and that's great. But not everybody is going to be in the same boat. Not everybody is going to be jumping right into DevOps. And that's totally okay. Every path that you can do in the tech industry can be very fruitful, and AWS, in my opinion, can be the icing on the cake for anybody in any area of the IT industry. AWS is so darn popular that everybody can benefit from it, whether now or in a year, or in 3 years, or whatever. These migrations really do take a long time for companies to migrate to the cloud, but everybody's migrating to the cloud. It's ridiculous. So the cert path, what's going on here? So instead of like drawing it up or something, I just actually took from AWS themselves. They make this nice cert path chart. The one that I got is there in the middle, the AWS Certified Developer Associate. And that might sound like a lot, and it took me about 2 or 3 months of training. The training that I use, and I am totally shilling for them at no benefit of my own. It's called acloud.guru, at least not yet, you know. acloud.guru actually has fantastic videos and tutorials and really, really can help you. That AWS Certified Cloud Practitioner is probably going to be the one that you're going to want to look at first. I personally wanted to just dive right into one of these associate certs. I will say that the test was actually pretty hard. The acloud.guru's practice test, I actually took the test a month before they updated it, and the test that I took was actually the test that I took at Amazon was actually much different than the practice test that I was getting 95s on, so I actually got a much lower score. But they just updated the Certified Developer Associate course. They have courses for all of these and more. They have Docker courses, Elastic Beanstalk, Elastic Load Balancer, Elastic everything, you name it, they've got it. I'm actually working now on the DevOps Engineer Professional cert, and some of them, if you fail it enough times, they don't let you take it for a year, so I'm actually just taking my sweet time on that. I think that most people will be very comfortable with the Cloud Practitioner cert, and I think that it could actually make a big impact on your resume. It's a beautiful resume filler. So the Cloud Practitioner cert seems like a cakewalk for a lot of people. I think that if you actually read the material like really well, I think you might even be able to do it without actually doing labs or anything, but who cares, because we're going to be doing labs in this course, and I think that you're going to benefit a lot from it. So here's what you're going to need for this first session. The first session, you're going to just need a computer and an AWS account. And here I am shilling acloud.guru again, and I'm totally cool with that. They did a fantastic job. For further reading on any of these things, in the next course, I don't want to intimidate you guys. In the next course, we're going to be installing a couple of free pieces of software. And then you'll be doing a little bit more code-related stuff, but don't be intimidated, don't be scared. It's all going to be all right. We're gonna walk through everything. And today, we don't need anything except for an AWS account. So Amazon S3, what is Amazon S3? Amazon S3 is the foundation of AWS and Amazon.com. It is their file storage area, to cut it super simple, but it's very, very, very reliable. I like this quote that I highlighted. It's so reliable that if you store 10 million files on S3, you can on average expect to incur a loss of a single object once every 10,000 years. So if you guys upload 1,000,000 files now, I'll see you guys in 10,000 years, and we'll see if you've actually lost anything. So it's incredibly reliable, very durable. They look at all those nines in the reliability bit down there. It is extremely reliable, and if you've used Dropbox, it's exactly the same thing. Dropbox is literally just built on S3. They did that way before S3 was cool, I suppose. So, they're a bit ahead of the curve. But you can put your videos up there, your wedding pics, your I don't know, your pizza party pics, your videos, your all of your files. You could just do a nice little backup. It's always good to have an extra backup. S3 is not the cheapest. There are other options such as Backblaze. I think DigitalOcean has. Obviously, Microsoft Azure and Google Cloud also have something similar. Everybody just uses S3 just because it's the thing to do, and it's highly available and highly integratable. If there's a service that has like one integration with some storage, it's probably going to be with S3. The way that S3 works, literally you just go in and you can click upload through their website. It's just like Facebook uploading a picture. And we're going to actually be using it to host a real world website today. And it's just these 3 simple steps plus some permission stuff. We're just going to be creating a file. We're going to be uploading it to an S3 bucket. We'll make it public, and we'll be clicking a button literally that says make into website. And then, we'll have a website online. And we're going to, before I move on to this, we're going to actually be given the website's URL is actually just going to be like some random long string. It's going to be some random like long text. So it's going to be just like a blob of 123 AFD whatever .amazon AWS.com or something like that. And we can change that to an actual real website name, like like 0 to hero in the cloud or something like that .com or something like that, through a service called Route 53 in AWS, and that's beyond the scope of this course. I'm just trying to keep the scope very, very, very low, but all we're going to be doing is hosting a real website with S3. So the first thing we're going to be doing, we're just going to be creating a .html file. So just create a text file, rename it from, you have to show extensions, you just rename it from .txt to .html. I am not going to bore you with syntax about HTML or any background there at all, honestly. That is beyond the scope of this course, and I hope I say that a lot because I want to cut all the fat off of this course. You don't even need any quotes. You can just write whatever you want in that little file and save it. Doesn't even matter to me. Purist can fight me. Go ahead. But the next thing we're going to be doing after that, we're going to be uploading it to the S3 bucket. You just go to aws.amazon.com, you make an account or log in. You'll be creating a S3 bucket. Bucket is basically exactly what it sounds like. It's just a metaphor for an area that you upload these files. It's like an album on Facebook photos, for just another metaphor for a file area. And then just upload the file, and then you're going to be clicking make the file a public website, and I'm going to show you that in just a sec. And then don't forget to delete the bucket with everything in it, which is just one HTML file at this point, but therefore you won't be charged, and you never know if you leave it there for a year or whatever, and then the free service will jump out, and then who knows, you might have to pay $1. But that's it. So that's it for this course. I'm going to jump into the lab. Okay, so we're going to create a text file, right click and go to new, text document. We're going to name it index. After that is done, we're going to actually rename it to .html. Yes. Now we're going to edit this bad boy in Notepad. Bring over Notepad. Hi there, cloud friends. Save. That's it for this. Next thing we want to do is go to your AWS console, go to S3, create a bucket. Remember, this bucket name is global, so you can't have any bucket name that matches with anyone else in the world. Name your bucket something along the lines of Davidson. Let's go with 0 to hero, blah, blah, blah. That'll probably work, actually. You won't be able to use that name. And we are actually going to grant public read access to this bucket. We want the entire world to be able to see this. And is there another? Next. Therefore, everything in this bucket will be public. Let me find our bucket. Now, just drag this bad boy in there. Click, it's cut off a little bit, but click upload. Now, one more important step. Go down to index.html, go here, and go here. You want to make this readable by everyone in the world. And now go back to your bucket. If you click here, it'll take you back to your bucket. Go to properties. This is the magic right here. Use this bucket to host a website. Type in here index.html. Click save. And this is our new website. This long URL domain name. Hi there, cloud friends. And that's it. Next, we're going to clean up. This is very easy. Close that up. Go back to your bucket. Actually, go back to your S3 folder. Click this, delete bucket. You're going to have to write in the name of the bucket here. You can actually copy paste it, confirm, and that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope to see you in the next video.